That's fatal.
COD is rigged. Their AI made a mistake.
We've been exposing Call of Duty using their game rigging patterns by exploring their...
COD is rigged. I agree, Prime Pete. Now tell me why it's rigged. Tell me why that shit's rigged. I knew I wasn't going crazy, bro. But, before I even watch this, I'm giving you a clap, bro. I knew I wasn't going crazy. I knew that shit was rigged as fuck. Chat was saying they don't believe me. Chat laughing, saying, oh, rigged allegations. I knew that shit was rigged. Let's go.
We've been exposing Call of Duty using their game rigging patterns by exploring their usage of AI to create in-game content and advertisements. But this time, there's something so incredibly overlooked, so convincing, and something that's never been brought up before by any content creator that I have to bring this to light. This is probably the craziest evidence we've seen so far that Call of Duty is indeed rigged. The person that brought this to my attention first was Branch Off Bush. So all credit goes to him for this crazy observation. Do you guys remember when this happened to the loading screen in Modern Warfare 3? Every single loading screen had words across it that said, players who cooperate with their teammates win more games. At first, we speculated that this was just Activision flippantly responding to our complaints about getting screwed over by the terrible matchmaking systems. But I'm telling you right now, it's far worse.
Oh, I know it's far worse than that, bro. You give me shitty randoms and we are losing the game because they rigged the randoms against me. We're losing. I get team killed. We saw it yesterday. I get team kills. I get racists on my team. I get shitters on my team. I get bots on my team. Yeah. No shit, dude.
Worse than that. This is actually
I knew that.
worst
Next.
AI blunder they've ever made. And it basically exposes everything we've been saying, including stuff about skill-based damage.
Skill-based damage. I'm about to subscribe to this guy, bro. I'm about to glaze this guy. Bro. Skill-based damage. The hit markers. Hit reg. Yeah. Yo, cook.
Brace yourself. Here we go. There's an Activision-owned patent called Methods and Systems for Incentivizing Team Cooperation in Multiplayer Gaming Environments. While the title seems innocent, what it details is absolutely no joke. It is the updated and fine-tuned version of their in-game manipulations. Multiple images depict changing in-game parameters in real time.
Look at that. Acquire the skill level of each player. Aggregate the skill level data of all players. Modify one or more parameters of each game session. Present the customized data to all players via game console. That is what I mean when I say that if my skill is too high in the lobbies and I shoot someone who's a shitter, well, that shitter will have more health and my bullets will do less damage, but when they hit me back, instant death.
The difficulty based on player skill, buffing worse players, nerfing better players, and it doesn't stop there. There is one main point that is absolutely essential to take note of. AI has made mistakes before within Call of Duty. When designing this advertisement, it pulled the word marquee, which is used 22 times in an Activision-owned patent that details rigging the game to more effectively sell skins. The AI was clearly fed this patent in order to learn Activision's business goals, and it accidentally spit out this word when designing an advertisement. But in this patent, which we nicknamed Team Coop, there isn't much of a summary to steal from. I'll remind you that this patent details making a video game harder for better players and easier for worse players so that the two player types can artificially coexist. Hence a clip like this, where a player clearly worse than me has better ping, more time to react, strong aim assist, and gets a bullet blanked on him and gets missed by a pixel 6 times. How this player ended up in my lobby was beyond me given the vast technical skill difference between us. However, he somehow ended up in my lobby, and not just that, but ended up killing me in a face-to-face, one-on-one when I saw him first. And the reasoning? Activision has technology that adjusts in-game parameters in real time to assist worse players. In this case, I suspect it's something slightly shifting my aim off target in order to keep him alive.
The magnets! The reverse magnets! Remember I told you guys? Yo! Oh my god, this guy is literally... I thought I was going crazy. This guy is literally proving me right. Remember how I say sometimes, oh my god, I feel like I can't put my aim on the guy. It feels like there's a reverse magnet pushing me away. Like, it's hard. It feels like that. I got a blank shot and felt like something was shifting my aim off.
and I also hit a blank shot. And before you deny that this patent is in use for Call of Duty, we first have to read this segment here. While aspects of the present specification may be described herein with reference to various game levels or modes, characters, roles, game items, etc., associated with a first-person shooter, it's not intended to be limited to that genre.
gotta sue
So
them.
this technology
Sue
was
Activision.
created by Activision with a first-person shooter in mind. Remember that. It was in mind when they made it. And let's not forget that Activision does not own a lot of modern shooters. They own no other multiplayer first-person shooters besides Overwatch and Call of Duty. And look at this. The application for the patent was filed in 2017, but it was published in 2019. I find it very interesting that we feel the huge paradigm shift
In
with the
MW19.
entire nature of the game with Modern Warfare
Oh
2019.
my God.
And this patent, which details game manipulation,
That's literally when I started feeling it too. MW19, I started slowly feeling it. And what after MW19, it was very strict.
was also published in the same year. Either way, this couldn't have been for anything else, especially if they're intending it to be for a first-person shooter. Anyways, take a look at these segments now. They all describe what exactly the patented systems do. The systems and methods of the present specification may continually tune the gaming environment and its various parameters based on observations of player behavior, gameplay quality, and gaming experiences. Now we get into territory of clearly describing changing the gaming environment to suit each individual player differently. And it also says continually, so it isn't just once, it's in real time. The scoring engine may determine match scores based on dynamically changing information and adjust the matchmaking process accordingly.
Yeah.
Again, we have more information that depicts an intricate matchmaking.
That's why when I'm close to a kill streak, if I'm one off a kill streak, the next person, the next shitter or whatever I shoot at will take an extra bullet and then they'll one tap me. So then you don't get your full kill streak.
Process that takes many variables into account in order to predetermine match results. But what kind of variables are we talking about? Well, this is where the patent gets a bit scary. But let's first keep observing what this patent details. Figure 3B shown here is a table providing an exemplary list of parameters of a gameplay session that are modified based on a player's skill level and the corresponding experience for players of different skill levels. Ha! That sounds familiar. Remember, even if there are things like gold and treasure mentioned, it is explicitly stated that this technology is originally intended to be utilized in a first-person shooter. And also, this image is years and years old. All they did was they updated the technology and then brought this image forward from another patent because they intend to use technology similar to it. Because some parameters here actually make sense in an FPS context. Things like the degree of accuracy required to hit a target, aka hitboxes, the likelihood of being targeted by an enemy, aka spawns, are both things that could vastly manipulate your COD experience if they're tampered with. And especially in the case of spawns, it seems like they are. It also reads that the accuracy of player attacks needs to be less precise for a bad player than a good player. What we're getting at here is that Activision has a history of looking into tailoring gaming experiences for different skill levels of players beyond just the matchmaking. They have an extensive list of different live in-game parameters that could be tampered with based on skill. Now, figure 3D is a flow diagram illustrating a method of determining a player's skill level and modifying a degree of difficulty of a gameplay session based on the
pays to be a
skill
shitter,
level in accordance with an implementation of the present specification. It just shows here that they gather the skill level data of everyone in the lobby and use that information to adjust certain parameters of the match. Again, this isn't made up. This is an image created by the company that owns Call of Duty for first-person shooters. Right here, it literally says, the present specification relates to dynamically adjusting a gaming environment in real time in order to improve.
That's why TJ has so much fun knifing, and that's why he gets knife kills. I was right all along, bro. He's not garbage. So of course his knife is gonna kill the better player because the other player is getting 10 hit markers on the guy.
Matchmaking systems and methods that facilitate optimization of player matches for multiplayer video games. This right here summarizes everything we just talked about, but the next part is the most interesting, as well as facilitate friendly social interaction during and after gameplay. Now, we've all seen COD lobbies. We've all been in COD lobbies. For the most part, it's a pretty toxic environment. This is a classic trait of COD. However, the implication of this friendly social interaction bit cannot be overlooked. And here's where it gets...
Nah, bro, don't tell me good players get toxic teammates on purpose. Because holy fuck, that would make so much sense, especially just yesterday. Perfect example of it.
gets unnerving. Remember the title of this patent? It's Methods and Systems for Incentivizing Team Cooperation in Multiplayer Gaming Environments, which means that in one way or another, the systems described within the patent somehow work towards the goal of making players work together, be nice to each other, and be more satisfied with their experience. Now we're introduced in the patent to a concept called likability. Here's a description of its use. In embodiments, a degree of likability between two potential team players is used to determine a level of match between them. The degree of likability may be in the form of a match variable that is based on at least two different types of variables. First, an explicit set of variables may be used to influence the match variable. The explicit set of variables may include, but may not be limited to, an indication of a positive thought or emotion towards another player. The indication may be provided in the form of a thumbs up sign by one player for another player during or after a gameplay session where the two players participated. If the player gives a thumbs up, then this is an express statement of likability. In another example, predefined keywords or phrases picked up from the spoken/typed chats may be an indication of positive thought or emotion. Some exemplary keywords and phrases may include good, you played well, and congratulations. Notice here.
Oh, that makes sense. So when I win and I go, you guys fucking suck, you bot ass bitch, you're garbage, bro. It hears that and it goes, okay, this guy's toxic. Let's give him racist people. Hey, your teammates, bro. You talk about bots so much, right? Here's your teammates, bots and racist. Enjoy.
That it says it monitors spoken and typed chats. Not only is that really scary, that's also really convenient.
That makes sense.
An AI that actively monitors your every word within Call of Duty's voice chat. What if it isn't just for banning people? What if
it keeps hearing me say bot, bitch? Yo, you're a bot, pussy. Yo, you're a bot. It keeps hearing me say that, and it goes, oh, what? You want bots? Here you go. Okay, and racist.
Measures your likability and interaction with your teammates. I mean, isn't that what it's doing in the first place by banning you?
And then there's me going, oh my god, my teammates fucking suck. My teammates are garbage. My teammates are this, my teammates are that. And then it gives me more of that. Wow, this game is fucking dog shit, bro.
If you're unlikable, if you're not cooperating, if you're not being nice, it just says you're done. Further, COD Mobile allows you to thumbs up your teammates at the end of a match, which also directly correlates with the thumbs up portion of this section of the patent. Now, what likability essentially is a tool that is used for matching players together based on some sort of score they've earned by being a good, positive, and cooperative teammate. But you gain and lose likability based on multiple factors. Consider it like a social credit score, but in Call of Duty. Further down in the patent, it details scarily specific ways that the game measures the connection between you and another player via likability. This excerpt here, though it's long, mentions that players that have the same music taste, purchase the same item from the game store, choose to watch the same replays, or have positive interactions with each other, greater likability can be assumed. But what's scary is that saying similar music taste is kind of unnerving, considering that if this software was actually in use the way they designed it, whatever was measuring their likability has access to metrics that are outside of the game. For example, like Spotify or Apple Music.
Wow.
Measuring likability based on your interests outside of the game. Outside of that, Figure 4B shows different actions that positively and negatively affect your likability. Some examples we see here are saving a team member's life, defeating an enemy with a teammate, completing objectives with teammates, and complimenting, praising, or performing positive gestures to teammates. All of these more cooperative actions give the player a positive value added to their likability score. Things like killing a team member vastly decrease your likability. To add to this, you have things like quitting a session early affecting it negatively as well, or being toxic within voice chat. Finally, you have the way that your likability affects your matchmaking process. Figure 6A details the step-by-step process used in the matchmaking when you...
My shit cooked, bro. My shit. No wonder my COD's been cooked since 2019, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I be running through lobbies talking all that shit, talking shit to my teammates, killing my teammates if they do something stupid, telling my teammates to go to fucking bed, telling my teammates to leave my team, telling my teammates to turn their console off. My social score...
utilizing your likability factor. I'm going to paraphrase it to simplify what this says. If you want to read it for yourself, just pause the video. First, likability metrics are measured between one player and others. Then a level of likability is established using the tracked metrics. Then a player is prompted with a survey or an opportunity to provide feedback about their experience in the last match. Kind of sounds like the post-game surveys they've been doing.
True.
Using these results and metrics...
And I always click on, no, I did not have fun. Whenever I get those, did you have fun last match? I always click on, no, I did not. I'm just a negative person, I guess.
positive or negative experience is concluded to have happened in the last match. Finally, a match is created by using these new likability values. So, your social credit score affects your matchmaking in this illustration. Players who have similar likability scores are matched together.
I'm never getting it. I'm never getting good COD games.
With your teammates and using positive language. So the more you work with and praise your teammates, the more likely it is that you match with other players who do the same. The less you complain and quit out of frustration, the more positive matches you'll encounter as a result of having high likability. And this is a problem when the matchmaking is so aggravating and everyone is so toxic and the game is so bad that you're likely to be frustrated. But if you comply, you're going to have a better experience. So how would you summarize?
Never complying. Never complying. At all. Zero. Teammate, you suck at fucking shooting? I'm calling you ass. Teammate, you missed the guy? I'm calling you blind. Okay? Teammate, you team killing me? I'm team killing you and calling you a pussy that whole match. Me comply? You're shit? I'm calling you shit. I beat you? You're shit. I lose? You're shit. Alright, bye.
Summarize this pattern. Take this system of likability and modifying game parameters to encourage more positive and compliant behavior, and then summarize the result of this system in one simple sentence. Could you do it? Well, Activision's AI bot did it perfectly. Players who cooperate with their teammates win more games. Yes, what I'm trying to tell you is another AI-generated mishap that fully suggests that this patent that manipulates in-game parameters and tracks your social credit score is 100% in use, because the AI completely understands this technology and tries to enforce it. And this wasn't exactly a mishap of AI-designed loading screens. Rather, it was some sort of an AI mishap that inserted text onto all players'
I was gonna say,
screen
yeah, that's a crazy mishap. When I read that, I thought it was just like a tip, one of those tips they have in loading screens.
Slapped right in the middle. Take a look at all of these. Every single loading screen in the...
This is the one I remember right here. The one in the bottom. From MW3. I saw this pop up here, and I thought it was like one of those loading tips, you know, that games have. But now reading it, I do find it weird how it says players who cooperate will win more games. But it's the way it says players who cooperate with their teammates will win more games, as in like, be nice. That's so stupid, bro. Never.
The game had this piece of text right in the middle, which suggests that an AI was
exactly Dark Agent. Dark Agent, you were here yesterday? So Dark Agent said that if you saw a picture of these people in real life, they never would push anyone like that in real life. Exactly. Yesterday, when I had the racist people on my team, they kept saying the N-word, N-word, N-word. They were like, "You're streaming?" And I'm like, "Yeah." N-word, N-word, N-word. I muted the guy. And then his teammate started team killing me. So then I asked him. I said, "Yo, bro, is that your boy? That racist fucking guy? Is that your boy? You claim that guy?" Hush mode. I said, "Yo, you claim him?" Nothing. And I said, "You know what? You're so fucking racist, right? You're so big guy. You're a big guy, right? I said, I bet you won't say your full name right now and then say the N-word." Silence. Like, it's like, dude, like, come on. Like, how pussy are you, bro? How pussy are you? If you're gonna be racist like that, fucking own it. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
The game was active. It didn't redesign them and re-upload them. Rather, it was actively modifying the game in real time, placing the text there. Further, because Activision clearly doesn't check the work of their AI before releasing updates and advertisements, and we've seen this multiple times, it makes even more sense how this slipped by. There was complete radio silence about it, and then it was just suddenly removed. As we've seen in its attempt
Justin
at
Timberlake, but
this
even if you said Justin Timberlake as the name, right? I know you had the stars. I know, because it wouldn't show. Even if you just say Justin Timberlake as the name, you're still proving my point that you're a pussy. You know what I mean? Because obviously that's not your name.
bias. Not only was this AI made to make Activision the most money possible, it was also made to reward positive player interactions and team play, because that results in a more positive player experience, and as a result, higher player retention and more money. It knows this because Activision has said it themselves in this patent. They want to incentivize team cooperation. How would it know to put something like this on screen to the players unless it was trying to coerce players into playing cooperatively, resulting in better likability, social credit score, resulting in better matches, resulting in player retention, resulting in money.
And you notice how I only deal with this when I'm playing solo or with like 2 or 3 people. It gives me the shitty lobbies. But you notice when I'm playing with a full 6 stack and we're running through games, it's very hard for the game to manipulate the lobby and manipulate us when we have a 6 stack, a full party of good players. It's very hard for the game to manipulate us. So how does the game manipulate us? It throws us in a hacker lobby. It gives us an actual cheater so that we cannot win, right? Because it knows it can't manipulate our bullets. It knows it can't fuck around with giving us shitty teammates. It can't do any of that stuff. Like, if I get nerfed, my 5 other teammates will kill the person, right? Because they're not nerfed. I'm nerfed, but they're not. So how can they fuck us up as a collective? Put a cheater on the enemy team. It's like it's so obvious. It's so scummy too.
And what's a good way to incentivize team cooperation in a team-based shooter? It's ultimately to tell the players that cooperating with your teammates wins you more games. The AI that did this is just doing its job, but once again, ironically failing because of its limitations. It doesn't know the player base. It doesn't know how people will interpret or respond to the statement. AI assumes that whoever is reading what it says understands the language used fully, explaining the usage of the word marquee, and it explains that people will just take it at face value. Players who cooperate with their teammates win more games. Okay. I want to win more games. I'm going to cooperate with my teammates, which then gives me a more positive experience because I match with more cooperative and positive teammates as a result. Now I want to play more and give Activision more money. The best part is that this wording is taking the wording right out of the patent. First, it was the super specific wording of marquee, and now it's the word cooperate.
I've also noticed that whenever I buy a bundle, if I download a bundle, whether it's free or I buy with COD points because I had extra or whatever, once I use that bundle, I noticed that the moment I bought it and I use that bundle, I will have a great play session, bro. Like, I'm talking about my aim always hits. My shots always hit. 2 to 3 bullets dead. I've noticed that a lot. But then eventually, I think that's only for that session when you bought the bundle. So pretty much, if I bought the bundle, that whole session, I'm doing great. The moment I turn my console off and jump on tomorrow, hey, it reset. You know what I mean? You got to buy a new bundle now if you want to continue having a great session like that, right?
Both instances that we suspect an AI was used, there are words taken directly out of the patents. Directly. This message was ultimately taken as the opposite. Players, including myself, thought it was a gaslighting strategy in order to make us think it's our fault we're constantly having aggravating matches and that it's not the algorithm's fault. If it was helping their cause, they would have left it in, right? If it was helping them, they would have left it in the game. But to nobody's surprise, this message in the middle of all loading screens was removed before the end of March of 2024. It didn't even last a month. Once it got enough negative coverage, it was removed. Or maybe it was removed because it wasn't any human employee that did it, and an AI slipped it into the update. Why would a human being put this in and then they immediately took it out? Either way, the fact it was removed is very telling. It was a direct summary of the patent that they created in order to incentivize team cooperation. The best way to incentivize team cooperation in a video game, and the only reason people cooperate in the first place, is that so they can win more games. This statement is so painfully obvious. Of course, cooperating with your teammates wins more games. It's a team-based shooter, but like the word marquee, the context of this statement is different than you might think. See, the reason we can say that it's AI generated is because it again assumes the context of something outside of a player's general understanding. The AI is not convinced that it's stating the obvious. It's taking the context of the patent and using that context to make a statement.
He's pretty much saying like it's like feeding the patent through AI and being like in one sentence break down this AI. In one sentence break down this patent. Explain this patent in one sentence, and the AI reads the whole patent and goes, in one sentence, the best way to explain this patent is work with your teammates, win more games. But that's because it's AI, and obviously when we read that, it's like, no shit, dude. It's a fucking team-based game. I'm playing Search and Destroy. Of course, if you win, you gotta work with your team. But the AI just thinks that it's summarizing a patent. Fucking scummy ass piece of shit, bro.
That it thinks best suits the motives of the company that it's working for. Its pro-Activision bias gives it more wiggle room than it needs, and as a result, it generates something that gives away their systems that function behind the scenes, just like with this marquee bundles thing. So, now we've got 2 Activision-owned patents being either quoted or very accurately summarized in 2 suspiciously robotic ways. The word marquee shows up in a seasonal update announcement, and this team cooperation patent is randomly summarized in the middle of all loading.
It did. Marquee bundles. I did not even notice that part. Marquee bundles. And this was just the most recent COD right here. MW2, I think, actually. One of the most recent ones, either 2 or 3.
Screens when there was never any text there to begin with. Both were also at random times, one in the middle of a season and one in a random update. Both word usages were also directly assuming the context of either patent. If these statements are taken out of context, marquee doesn't make any sense, and players who cooperate with their teammates win more games is just stating the obvious. It isn't until the context of the patents are added that these 2 sentences make more sense and have much more depth than we originally thought. By observing that the AI uses context from 2 Activision-owned patents, this is even more evidence that these patents are being used within the game. The pro-Activision biased AI references them and uses systems that Activision uses to try to incentivize players to purchase skins because they'll be matched against easier competition. They'll also cooperate with their teammates more because their likability factor will increase and they'll have a more positive experience playing the game. The only way the AI would do these two things is if it knows that these systems are active. If they weren't, what's the point of using this incredibly specific language? What's the point of utilizing the direct context of the patents?
Facts.
It would be invalidated if these systems weren't active. Why say marquee if the microtransaction patent wasn't active? And marquee players wasn't a concept that was in use in-game. Why say players who cooperate with their teammates win more games, unless doing so raises your likability, gives you better matches, and actually allows you to have a better experience. The AI throwing these things into the mix completely validates our suspicions about these patents being in use. Activision is overusing AI while it's still in a state where, despite it being impressive, it's still very volatile and unpredictable, which is causing them to accidentally expose more than they'd like. All they can do is cross their fingers and pray that nobody takes notice or deduces what is going on. But that's why people like Branch...
Oh, trust me, I've taken notice since MW19, bro. I've been called crazy, okay? I've been called crazy, and I've been called making up excuses. Never was. Never was. Fully sane here. Absolutely fully sane. Fully sane. W video. Call them out. Call them out, Prime. And sue their ass.
Bush,
Prime Pete.
me, Blame Truth, Fooly, whoever, are here because we notice these flaws and we expose them. Denying evidence this obvious is just pure cognitive dissonance. The game is playing you. Wake up. I'm Prime Pete. Stay safe out there.
W Prime
Take it
Pete,
easy.
man. W fucking Prime Pete, bro.
Yeah, welcome to the stream, join the team, yeah, it's fatal. Yeah, it's fatal. We don't need to sleep, time to eat, set the table. Yeah, that's fatal. Listen when he speaks, take a seat, yeah, it's fatal. Yeah, it's fatal. If you try and leave, best believe, yeah, that's fatal.